I wanted to make this short video for someone who had made a comment that they were a little frustrated on how to put a graphic into a sublimation template. So I thought I'd just share how I do it, and I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination. I started out in Photoshop Elements, which is actually like a light version, if you will, of the Photoshop suite from Adobe. Adobe also makes Photoshop Elements too, but it's just much more condensed, and there's no subscription. It's a one-time fee of about $70, I want to say right now, and you can find it like on Amazon. I think version 15 right now is what's out, but basically that's what I learned, and then about 6 months ago I came over to the Photoshop full version, if you will, and that's what I'm going to do the video on today in that version. So I know it's a little overwhelming, so I'll try to go slow, and maybe too slow for some, and but I know in the comments several people had said to please go slow, so this is for like beginner. So I go over here to File, and I go to Open, and I navigate over to where my sublimation templates are, and I actually have them all grouped and by vendor, and today I'm going to be using this one from Sublimation and More, the group by templates. They provide, you know, us the templates and for the group buys, and so I'm going to get the seatbelt one. They all pretty much work the same, all templates. They have two areas basically. The background, if you go over to these eyeballs, you can turn off the different, this is called layers, turn off the different layers. So if I turn off this eyeball to the safe area, which is like the print area, if you will, you can see the background, which is also the bleed area. So you always want your graphics to stay in this case green area. And what I like to do too is go over here to where it says opacity, and I like to like lower the opacity, and you'll understand why in a little bit, but I just like to put it down so that I can kind of see through it. And then I'm going to go get my graphic, my digital paper. I'm just going to use digital paper right now, but you would go get your design, and let's see here. And so now this is the tabs up here. This is where our template is. This is where our graphic is. And I just kind of like to float my tabs, and you do that by clicking on it like that, and see how it's highlighted, and clicking on it, and you drag it down, and then you kind of let it go, and then that'll make it float, which means it just goes down. And then you go to the other one, and you do the same thing. You click, hold, and drag, and then it's floating also. And you can go right here and make this bigger, make it smaller. And I am actually on, I should have let you know, I'm actually on the Move tool. So there's a little, these are all your tools basically that you can use, and there's a little way to toggle that here and make it more condensed or spread out. I particularly like it to be more condensed, and so this little one up here on the left, top left, is called the Move tool, and that's the one that needs to be clicked. So there's other ones here that if anybody wants to learn how to use, I know how to use a couple of them. I mean, not every single one, but on this particular one, you're going to use mainly the Move tool for a lot of things. So that's like the main tool, I would say. So you're going to go over to where the paper is. See, this is highlighted here. That means if you go to the layers, that's the one that's on right here. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click it, hold it, and you're going to drag all the way over here to the other side. See, and now it kind of made a copy of it, put it on your sublimation template, and you can just minimize this because we're not really going to use it. With this little minus, you just minimize it, and if you ever need it again, it's down here under this icon. Now you just can open it up. See, you can kind of open it up a little bit here by pulling it, just whatever makes it easier. You want to make sure it's over covering the whole black area here, and you want to, what I like to do is I just take off or unclick the eyeball here so that I'm just working with these two are the ones that are visible. And you have to get the paper, the digital paper that you're using, or whatever picture or whatever it is that you're using, you have to drag it and put it on over this background layer. So what you're going to do is, the way you know that this is you've selected is, see how it's a different color, and you just right click it and hold it down again, and then you just drag it like this, and then you let go and it moves it. And so now it's right over the background. And so this is a safe area, which we're going to use in a minute, but right now I just like to turn it off by taking off that little eyeball thing. And sorry, I'm not sure about the exact terminology, but now we're just going to go back over to this. Once again, you got to make sure that this layer is highlighted, and you're going to left click on the mouse button, and you're going to pick what is called create clipping masks. And if for some reason this is not lit, usually it's because you don't have this layer selected or something else is going on. So just make sure this layer is selected, left click, and then create clipping mask. So when you do that, took the form of the template, and you can see the little arrow now change. That wasn't there before, and now it is. And so if you just put it on top of this layer, once again, left click, clicking, well, now it's going to say release it, but that's fine. We can do this. You see, you just released it. And then if you do it again, you go to create clipping masks. So it's okay to practice doing that. What you can do now is turn on the safe area, and you go ahead and check that. Let's say you would have words on here or something. You would want it to be within the green area, of course, not into your bleed area, so that when you sublimate it, everything that's pertinent is in this area, in the green area. But when you are going to save the file now to print it, you really don't need this green area, because if not, then the green's going to print. So you just want to take it off and go to save it as a different file. So you want to say, you don't want to mess really with the original file here. So you want to go back up to File and then Save As. And you want to name it something different, because you don't want to mess up your template, because that template is something you're always going to go back to. And so I just I'm just going to put diamonds and save it as a PSD, which means a Photoshop file. which means it keeps it in these layers over here, which you can also print when you when you're printing it to sublimate. You can print from PSD. If you want to save it under a PNG, is down here, a JPEG. Those are the most popular ones. So yeah, you just go ahead and then you push save, and that box just basically says you want to save it, I guess, in the max resolution. And I always select that yes. So, and that's it. And it's right now, see, if you go up here, it's a different name. So you still can go get that other file, which is just template. And now this is the new one. And then you can send it to print. And yeah, that's about it. Pretty much all templates work this way. They'll just be a different shape. Hopefully everything was clear. If by some reason something was not clear or you have additional questions, I'll be happy to try and help, and just leave a comment below, and I'll see what I can do to clear things out for you. Like I said, I'm not a pro, but I can at least try to help. Thank you.